as that it's waiting to publish my YouTube broadcast. So if I am live, I apologize for you having to listen to me say that. All right, looks like we're good. All right, we're back for episode 3 of Let's Make Ball Lord. Today we're going to be working on some sound stuff because the game just feels so dumb when it's completely silent. Um, and it's not completely silent. I did get some sound stuff working, but the last time that I did was a couple months ago, and there's a new version of Wwise out, and supposedly it's a lot better. It gets rid of sound banks, which is kind of confusing. So we're gonna look at some Wwise stuff and hopefully try to upgrade my version. We're gonna look at some sounds that I found, and we're gonna try to create some dynamic sounds. If you're not familiar with Wwise, let's see if I can bring it up. It is something that you see pretty much in every AAA game. When the splash screen when it loads up, you'll see Wwise made with Wwise. It's just a really nice sound engine or sound library that allows you to do like pre-processing or post-processing on sounds. You could pretty much just like if you're working in a VST and you want to modify pitch without or modify speed without changing pitch, or, anything like that. You could create sounds like a synthesizer. You can create random fluctuations. So you could take a single sound clip and turn it into like 10, or you can even parameterize it, and you can make your footsteps. You can use this as one footstep sound, and you can take the velocity of the person moving and make them louder, and when when you're crouching, you can make them softer, with all using the same clip. So it's really awesome. So I did go ahead and find a couple sounds. Let me see if I could bring them up. Where is my Google Drive? Why can I never find anything? This. Where is my Google Drive? Access. Google Drive. Sounds. Where's my sounds? So I got a bunch of sounds from Audio Jungle. I think I paid like $3 a sound, which is awesome. Let's see if we can hear. I don't know if you heard that. Let's see again. That's one sound. That's like picking up the ball. I also liked this one. Let's see. Sounds kind of like picking up a ball. Here's another one. You can hear it's like a staggered clap. I don't know. You know exactly the sound I'm talking about. I also found some fire sounds because, spoiler, we're gonna add really cool fiery effects to the ball. Like maybe if you're like really on fire and you made like a few shots in a row, you'll be able to throw a fireball. So I have like different like a constant loop that's way too loud. But like I said, with Wwise, we can modify that and make it nice. Is that the same one? I think I played the same. No, I don't know. Let's see. What's this one? That one's like a flare up. We can speed that up, slow it down, whatever, change the pitch. But that'll be like when I pick up the fireball initially. Anyway, I got ideas. So that's what I want to do. Let's open up the game and see where we are with our Wis. First, all you need to do is come here and you can download it. It's free. Once you log in, you'll have like a dashboard with all the games that you have connected to it. Unless I'm lying, I could totally be lying to you, and I think you need to actually open it. Where's my Wis? Let me type it in down here. Wis. Where is it? Wis. Maybe it's on my desktop. Let me just take a look. Is it here? Wwise. Oh, Wwise launcher. Not sure why it wouldn't come up when I searched. But let's see. So this is what you'll download, and it'll integrate with Unity, Unreal. It's pretty awesome. Let's see. So I have some projects. I have, you know, confusingly, I have two for some reason because I have one on one hard drive, one on another, one that I kind of abandoned a while ago, and a newer one which I just remember is on my C drive. So you'll have one thing here, um, and you basically install the dev files on your computer, and then you integrate it with Unreal Engine. So when you go to Unreal Engine, you'll be able to see everything is new. So I'm gonna update it because this is a stream. This isn't like a curated or whatever you call it. This isn't an edited video. So you're gonna see the entire process, like I said. Um, so that's just how it's gonna work. Because I'm actually working now. This is like my work, and I just want to share it with everyone. So it could be boring at times. But all right, look at that. That's fast. I updated the engine. Now what? Uh, Remind me tomorrow, new minor release. Well, okay, let's install it because if I'm upgrading my old version, I might as well upgrade to like the latest. So let's see what we got here. We do want the SDK because Unreal will be building using, you know, the source code. I don't want samples. I want Android, Apple, Microsoft. And the reason we have this little dash here, I think, is Xbox. Yeah, you need a license for Xbox. Same with Nintendo, I think. Um, but whatever. This is what I'm doing. And I'm not even sure if I want to provide support to Apple because I'm kind of like angry at them now, and I don't feel like paying their stupid yearly fee, and they're just really hard to work with. But that's something like if the game is actually good, I could do that later. But I'm gonna install that anyway. Jeez, that's a big install, but we're gonna do it. Let's see. What can we talk about while we're waiting? I'm gonna open up. Oh, let's see. Retrieving list. All right. Oh, okay. Okay. Plugins. We don't want any of this stuff. You could see like these are just ways for them to make money, I guess. These are I mean, and also these are cool plugins. These allow you to do crazy, crazy different things with the sound. We're not going to need any of that because you know, come on, it's a casual game. We're just going to have some sounds. So we have this mastering suite. We'll keep that. It's free. And let's get rid of what is this? Okay, so haptic feedback control interface, cool, but no. Uh, Geometry informed plugin that renders early reflections based on the proximity of the listener or an emitter to the reflective surfaces. Wow, yeah, we don't need that, but that sounds cool. No, yeah, I'm just gonna go and remove these. Okay, let's install. Great. Now, while that's going, let's open up our project. Uh, we're going to quick access, Ball Lord. Ball Lord. Is this the right Ball Lord? We'll find out in a second. You know what? I'm not really sure. I'm just going to open Unreal Engine and pick from there because they give you a little thumbnail where you can see the last thing that you did. Super useful. Or I could just go and delete the project that's been confusing me for a couple months. No, I'm going to deal with that later. Okay. So, um, yeah. What's this? Another cool thing about Unreal is just for fun one night, when I was updating something, I'm like, let me just see what happens when I plug in my Steam, my Valve Index, and turn on my game, and 100% it just works. Like I could be in my arcade in virtual reality with no controls. I didn't implement them yet, but holy shit, it was amazing. I sat there and looked at my arcade machines, which were the wrong scale because I don't know, I didn't make them exactly like, you know, how tall they would be. So I felt like a little tiny person looking at really big arcades, and it was amazing. I sat there for like 10 minutes and just looked around. So that's another possibility, and that's something else I want to go. Maybe after I get this game working, I'm going to add some VR controls and make it a VR basketball arcade game. So many things. Uh yeah, so that'll be cool. Now what here is the not correct one. Can I just get rid of this? No. Um I don't even remember why. I don't remember anything. Let's go with this one because I know that this is the one that I've been recently working with. So let's open it up. Get out of here, Steam. Stop. You know what? I'm just gonna close Steam. Get out of here. Get out. Get out. Oh my god. Go away. Okay. Man, so much waiting. You guys want to go get a coffee or something while I open the editor? Next time I'm just gonna have it open already. Why didn't I think of that? See, I'm new at this. Also, I had a scheduled dev session last night. Sorry for anyone. I'm sure there was 0 people. But sorry for anyone that was looking forward to doing this last night. I went on a pumpkin drive by, or I don't know what it was called, and it was far. And there was just no way I got back like way too late. And I also, since I'm new at this, couldn't figure out how to tell everyone. Couldn't figure out how to change the schedule. Um, I don't have a Twitter account for Code and Dagger yet, so I couldn't like tweet everyone. Nor do I have any followers, so I didn't know what to do. So I just kind of just didn't show up. Sorry about that. I'll figure this out eventually. Um, cool. So now I got this open. We got all the stuff that we were looking at yesterday here. I don't need like most of this. I'm just gonna close it. We got our cabinet. What am I looking at here? The base of the other one. We don't need this. So one thing I struggled with was first go around. I thought, hey, I'm gonna have all the sounds on the cabinets because you need to have something drive these sounds. Like when something hits, I want this sound to happen. When something hits this, I want another sound to happen. Then there's the other thought of like, does it matter what hits it? So if I had a metal ball hit the cabinet, it's going to be a different sound, but it's really 2 different sounds. It's the sound that the ball makes when it hits something, and it's the sound that the thing that gets hit makes when it's hit. So it got confusing, and I realized that it's to make it way simplified. Everything should have its own sound driver. Everything should have a sound. Everything should be responsible for making its own sound. So I initially put that sound on the cabinets. And the way I did it was, let's see, here's my cabinet. See, on base cabinet hit sound. So the way I had it set up originally, now this is just, we're going to go from bottom up. I'm not going to go from top down looking at Wwise and how it works yet, but this is just the basic, like, this is what happens to make the sound, right? So I have when something hits the frame cabinet. Now, the frame cabinet is a particular mesh. It's a single mesh. In this case, the frame cabinet is all the metal. And you could see that it looks weird. That's because this is one-sided material, because it's just the fence. But forget about that. This is just a single mesh that represents all the things that make a metally sound. Then I have, what else do I have? I have the bass cabinet, which is another little piece. Is this the bass cabinet? Well, this is my barrier. This is just another little piece. Anyway, I have all these pieces, and each of them do something different, but not too different. You can see that this is what it looks like from afar. So basically, something hits the cabinet. The other actor in this case is the ball, which is the only thing really that moves that can hit the cabinet right now. But this is the ball. And then what I do is this right here is Wwise stuff. So right here, I'm saying, okay, set the RTPC value. Remote. I don't even know what that is. RTPC value. But it's a parameter. It's just a way to parameterize something, right? So I pass in the actor, which is the ball. And only we'll come back to this. Why this whole conditional here? But basically, it says the ball is the RTPC value. Now I believe this is volume is what I'm setting here. That's what's coming into here. So we have the ball, volume, and I'm going to post an event, which basically it says make a sound. And the sound I'm calling is ball hit cabinet. And that's pretty much it, right? Down here you could see, here I set same deal. I have the ball, post an event, which is the ball rim. So I hit the rim in this case. Is there a way that I can just for fun play this rim sound? Let's go to it and play. Will it let me play it? I don't know what state I'm in since I'm upgrading. This is the sound bank itself. To actually play the sounds manually, I think I need to go into my Wwise launcher and set it up. But okay, tiny side thing, because now this is done. So let's see, add to your Unreal projects. Now we're not really adding it, we are upgrading it, but maybe that's just as good. I don't know. Let's see what happens. So here's my Unreal projects. Now what I want to do is add it to the correct one. Can I just see more? Yep, this is the one, C drive. So there we go. Upgrade Wwise in project. Is it going to let me do it with it open? Let me just get through my thought process before I click that button. Anyway, here we hit the ball rim. Not only do we hit the rim, but then we mark a variable called hit the rim, which I'm using somewhere else. That's how I can tell if we got a nothing but net kind of achievement. Basically, I'm hijacking if I make a sound that I hit the rim, that's 100% guarantee I hit the rim. So I'm kind of hijacking that. It's kind of coupling. I don't like that, but it's totally fine because it's simple enough, I think. Now, what I did was instead of having all of these, it got really complex. And then I'm like, you know what? Maybe I can take all of this middle part here and parameterize it. So I did that in this case. So you can see I made a function called play sound with impact velocity. And it's pretty complicated. It takes in all the things that this is what I need to know to get the volume. Now, what I'm doing, if we take a look at it, is I'm taking the normal impulse, which means give me the amount of energy put in to if you have I don't know how to describe it. So if you have a sphere, the normal and your ball's going this way, the normal impulse is like the the front vector. So like pointing in the direction that you threw the ball. So if I threw the ball forward, normal impact is exactly on that spot, like where I hit it. Anyway, so I get the vector length. That's like saying what's the speed of that, and then I want to like the person could flick it really slightly. Where's the camera? Flick it like this, like that, or they could flick it like that. And one way is like a really hard way. One way is like not a really hard way. Um, and it's going to make the ball have a bigger vector length, right? So what I want to do is I want to make it so it doesn't ridiculously go crazy, and I want to make it so they can't. Um, that's pretty much it. I don't think I have like a lower limit on it, but the sound does have a lower limit. I don't want the sound to be completely silent, and I don't want the sound to be completely like an explosive thunder. So that's what this map range clamped does. It basically says, okay, take the range of the in range, the minimum and maximum that you're going to fling the ball, and the minimum volume and maximum volume that you want the sound to be, and clamp it. So that's what this is doing. So it's saying like, let's figure out what the volume is based on the speed. That's like the TLDR of what this is doing. So to parameterize that, I basically see this is a little fudge factor here because it was really hard to find the exact nice sound that I want. And I needed it to, basically this is just me flinging the ball, trying to see what feels like the right sound that comes out. And I made that number. I did like a binary search for that number. I made it, made it 1,000, and that was way too high. So I made it like 500, and that was still high. So I made it 250, and then, so I just kept fiddling with that number until I found a nice number. And this is just so I can drop it in to any sound and just reuse it anywhere and say, okay, but I had a lot of problem. It was really complicated. I didn't really like it. So really not long ago, I refactored it when I made my second cabinet. Now my second cabinet, you can take a look at my second cabinet. Cabinets. Now this one, remember, is only one component. So I couldn't say when it hits the frame and when it hits this. So what I did instead was I extracted some of that and I placed it in the ball itself. So if we look at the ball, I put some sound stuff in the ball. Let's see, where's my basketball blueprint? Right here. So now I have a slightly different method of doing this now, but it's way simpler because I only need to add a sound. All I need to do is add a switch on here, and I don't need to have all those functions. So let's see how this works. It's a little bit different. Here we still have that same clamping method here to get that right sound out of there. Nothing else has changed. We have when the component hits, but in this case it's the ball. So when the ball hits something, it comes in here and it says what's the speed. It did hit it. It sets the actor. Now, what I'm checking now is not did I hit the frame mesh? Did I hit the barrier mesh? What I'm saying now is I'm always hitting the cabinet. And then what I do is I use this physics material. And instead of making the mesh all different pieces, what I'm doing is I'm making each material, like anything that's metal, it inherits some physical material property. And then I get the name of it and I say, okay, is this a ramp physical material, which is like that rubbery stuff? Is it a backboard material? Is it a fence? Is it a hoop? So it's slightly more expensive in terms of like processing power, because it used to be able to just hit a component and just know what it was. But now it hits the cabinet and it has to go and find, okay, what material did I hit? And I want to pull this out and then apply it to, this is a separate call to get what this physics material is. And there is some cost to it. But luckily, it's very minor. I couldn't tell anything. I guess I'll find out for real when I deploy it on my phone and try it out. But I'm pretty sure that it's going to be acceptable. So now it's a lot simpler. Now I can just say, okay, if I hit the ramp, now let me show you what that looks like real quick. So if we look at, where is my cabinets? Super shot cabinet. Let's open it up. Let's just open up the mesh. So you can see now, here's all my materials. Now these are just, if we highlight, you can see that this is like the backboard. What's this? The frame itself. This is the metal frame. But none of this has any physics built into it. But if we look at the material itself, let's look at this frame material. So here we have a frame material, and it gives you the opportunity. Now this is the UV map. This is what it looks like. We can look at, this is basically what Substance Painter will create for us. This cool thing. Now, if you notice, this is a lot simpler than you would see in most materials because I opted to go with a unlit scene. So I don't have any lights. Since I'm using mobile, I have all the lighting baked into this. And we could do a whole nother episode on how we designed the materials to be unlit. But essentially that means that in here we can say that the shading model here is unlit. Which means don't process any shadows, don't process anything. Just assume that they're all baked into this thing right here. But you see at the top, we have a chance to set a physics material. So right here, we have this thing called fence. I have a whole bunch of materials made. Physics material is not complicated at all. Let's just open it up and see what it is. It's basically just a struct, which just holds some random stuff. It lets us know that, hey, when the ball hits, make sure the friction is this. Make sure that it's not too bouncy. This just tells you like how any physics should act. But I'm not even like using it like that. I'm basically just using it to assign to a material. So later I can say, hey, what thing did you hit? It's kind of like a little workaround, and it works awesome. So now it should be easy to add in. Now, if we're going to see how we're going to add a ball touchy thing, instead of having it happen on hit, like here we have on component hit, it'll be like on touch begin. So basically, I'm going to be able to say like on touch, let's see, bind event on touch input touch begin. Yeah, basically like this, right? Bind event. I would have to hook it to a begin. Where is it? To on begin play. So I'd have to say, also on begin play. Maybe we can just get that to work now, just to make sure that we had it firing. This is how you just test things out really quickly. So let's create a new event. Come on, I don't want to add a component. Add event. We'll add a custom event. First touch on the ball. And just for fun, let's this is just going to be the ball itself, but let's just print a string and see what happens. Let's print a string. We'll say ouch. All right, now let's just play. Oh, I'm going to be in the title screen, aren't I? That's okay. Let's hit play. Let's pick a cabinet. Let's play. So here are the balls. Now let's make sure when I touch it, it didn't do it. Oh, it's okay. We'll figure it out. But see, this is why it's good to start small. Like you, like I said, I always say you break your problem into tiny problems. Like, yes, we have to play a sound, but before we even do that, we have to make it know that we're touching the ball. So now the problem is way, way, way simpler. So you can never really get sad something didn't work, because what didn't work? Something that should take you like a minute to figure out. So it's tiny wins, lots of little tiny wins is what keeps you going. But it's easy. It's easy to break down and figure out what's going on, right? So event begin play. This is how I would do it, right? Is it even going here? Is it even coming here? Let's just put a breakpoint. Let's start real slow here, right? Oh, stupid. You know, I'm going to change this so I don't have to do this every time. All right, so we're there, you see? So already we know we've made it here. So what the hell's the problem then? So it casts here. Then we know it has to go here. It sets the player state. Then we go here. You know what? Not even waste time. Let's see. Does it even go here? Does it even bind? Let's try it. Oh, I forgot to change the scene again. I'll do that next time. Let's see. Play. And it looks like... Oh, wait. Did I not remove the old one? I didn't. Let's remove it and continue. We did. So it's definitely binding. It's definitely binding. But it looks like it's not getting here. So let's put that here. Resume. And let's see. It did not. Now, initially what's going through my head is this because this isn't really a touch? It's a mouse? I'm not sure if it's, I'm not sure if it's well, but there's one way to test it, right? We could also bind to mouse input. So let's bind to mouse on clicked. Bind event to on clicked. Add an event. And we'll print a string. Oh, this is messy, but we're deleting this. So eeps. Why not? Eeps. Now let's see what happens. Oh, I forgot to change the level again. So I'm gonna have to click play. Play. I don't care. I know about that. We don't need that. I don't want any of these. Let's just see what happens. So let's resume. Now when hey, it still didn't print. Now that's surprising to me. That is surprising to me. I don't even need to put a breakpoint there. I mean, it's definitely not firing my event. Let's see. Why would that be happening? Bind event to on input touch begin. Okay. Let's just take a look at, where are we? We're in the ball. Let's see if there are events being propagated. I mean, there has to be. Let's see. All right. So instead of doing this, let's try. I feel like that should have worked. I do. But let's see what happens if we use these events here on input touch begin. What's going to be the difference? See, I guess I just don't really understand. Oh, you know what? I think I might have been saying on touch the blueprint instead of the actual ball mesh itself. I think that might have been the problem. Well, in any case, I'm like 100% sure this is going to work now. So now the only difference is we don't have to do anything on event play, on begin play. But now when we touch the ball, we should be able to print a string, which is ouch. And let's see. We do not want to play when there's an error. What is there? Blueprint failed to compile. Why did it not like me? Did I miss? Oh. What did I do? I screwed something up. Let me undo, because I just don't remember what I did. Did I delete that by accident? I definitely did. See, that's not cool. I want to get rid of these, but not this. And now I want to make sure we click on the ball itself, and we want to do an on input touch begin. And now we want to print. Come on, this has got to be the charm this time. Come on. Ouch. All right. Ball Lords play. Hey, don't forget about that bug. I guess like when they spawn, if they overlap, weird things happen. All right. So I went to go use my finger. It's not good. Is my face not moving? I just looked over and I see my face isn't moving. I don't like that. Oh my God, is my whole stream just me frozen? Who knows? All right. No. Still didn't work. But I still have my other idea to try. This is on touch begin. I also, it could be because I want on click. Click. And I want the same thing to happen. So let's just do that for now. Oh, definitely don't want to do that. Okay. It's still not working. On click. All right. So this is why things take a lot longer than you initially think, because things like this happen. I feel like this should work. This is not supposed to be the hard part of what I was doing today. But things happen and you just never know what is going to happen. Like you just don't know. But let's see, the time is at 9:40. I got to start working soon. But it's definitely possible to get this fixed before I move on, and that's still like a sense of accomplishment. Um, and this is going to be a multi-episode getting the sound to work. And I hope you didn't think you're going to come here and we're going to have it working, because that's not real life. Okay, so let's see. On touch begin. First, let's a sanity check. Let's make sure that the print string isn't broken, which it probably is not broken. Also, since we might be here a while trying to fix this, so yeah, it's definitely not getting there. Since we might be here for a while, I'm definitely going to take the 3 seconds to come here and load my other level. So let's load the hoops. So now let's save. I don't know what I did. What did I do to the title screen? I'm not saving it because I don't remember what I did. Just be safe. All right, so now I'm here. So now when I press play, it should just take me right where I want to go. I need to find, some of these don't let me play. I don't like it. Like I just have, here's the play. Let's see. Oh, I didn't. Oh. Nope. All right, so there's another way. There's another way to do this. There's another way. All right, so I'm just backing up and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know why this isn't working yet, but I do know that at some point I detect I'm touching the ball. Otherwise, it wouldn't throw. At some point, I'm touching the ball. So let's find where that is. All right, that's going to be in the arcade controller. So we got to go in the arcade hoops. Arcade hoops. What? Maybe it's just called the hoops controller. I don't. Hoops player controller. I hate how there's no fuzzy searching. Come on, Unreal. There should be fuzzy searching. There definitely should be. Anyway, so somewhere in here, I detected I'm touching the ball. So here we have touch start. So this is definitely where we're detecting that. So let's take a look. We can back up all the way and see what my little things are. Pinch and zoom, bind, touch, and release. Here we go. So, ooh, maybe that's why I am using a different library, which hijacks the touches. Am I? I think I am. This was a long time ago. But anyway, I'm definitely pressing here. And all the logic in here basically says, make sure I'm actually pressing on a ball and not just something else. And it sets the active object that I'm actually touching. So here's active object. I'm keeping it abstract because right now, obviously, there's only a ball, but there might not be later. So I'm calling it just the active object. Now, in here, this is all the logic to set which ball I'm touching. So right now I'm explaining to you, and I'm also looking for where I should best stick in this, you know, this I just touched it, make a ball grabby sound. So here we have a do once whenever I press. So I press down. I do once. So if here's where I check. If the round is over, if the game's over, I don't want you picking up the ball. So that's all this says. Here, basically, I am resetting all of my like little temporary variables back to 0, like the last, or lastest. Um, the reason I have 3 distinct points for last, or lastest is at any given point when I am dragging the ball, I want to get the last 3 frames so I can determine like what is the velocity that I happen to be moving at the exact moment. Um, anyway, that's what that is. Here's where I say, okay, here's your finger. Let's see what's underneath it. And I only care about. I made a new type of object called a flickable object. Um, these things that you can pick from, usually, like Unreal comes with all these, like Pawn, Physics Body. I could have probably used Physics Body because the only one now is a ball. But like I said, I want to keep it generic. And anything that I want flickable, I can just set as a flickable object, and then this will work. So under my finger for objects, I check for a flickable object. If there's a result which is, yep, I hit, then what I want to do, and I combine that with if the round's not over. So if I actually hit something with my finger and the round is not over, I'm going to move on. I'm going to cast it to a basketball blueprint saying, okay, make sure it's a basketball that you touch. So this is kind of like another sanity check. I don't think it can be anything else, but I need to take that object, turn it into a basketball object. Then what I do is I check if it's in play. Is the ball in play still? In play, I have a little invisible volume that I detect. If the ball is in that volume, it's in play. Like for instance, if it's on the floor, it's outside of that volume, it's not in play. Then I continue on. I set some variables here. Oh, I take the impact point, which is where my finger touched the ball. Oh no, yeah, that's it. And the impact normal. Um, that is like the direction perpendicular to that point on the sphere that I hit. And the reason I use both of these is depending on where my finger hit on the ball, when I throw it, it'll spin the ball. It'll create spin because, like, if I apply force to the right side of the ball, it should spin to the right. So whenever I fling, I do 2 forces. I hit it in the direction that I want to throw it, and I also make sure that I give it some rotational velocity according to where exactly on that sphere my finger hit. So that's what the impact normal's for. And then I send it back as the active object. So we can see now that at this point, we know we have a ball in our hand. Right around here. Let's see where this is called. Because I'm thinking, do I want this to be in here, set active object? Like, do you in your head think of setting the object as active should cause the ball sound to be made? That maybe. Where do I call it? So here's where I set it, set active object. Here's where I say, is it valid? Maybe here. So maybe when I bind the ball to flick event, let's see. Right. Okay. I think this is where. So also, this is after I've completely identified that I touched the ball and it's active, I turn off gravity. That's because when I move my finger around and the ball's moving, I get some really weird physics when gravity is like fighting against me. So I turn off gravity and let me move the ball. I think also what I should do here is I'm going to put a little placeholder because we're running out of time. But I'm going to put a placeholder here that says make ball grabby sound. And I'm going to put a little comment around here to do. Here's where we make sound. Can't read that, so here we go. Now let's try this. Yep, see, we're all grabby sound. And make sure it only happens once. Yep, make ball grabby sound. Also, I made a mistake making this little rim here. I can't see the balls, so I'm gonna have to fix. That's another thing I have to add to my Trello, just so I remember um, to do that. And actually, to just promote good habits, I'm gonna do that right now. Let's see. I don't know if I want that in my hot burner. It's got to be done at some point. Super shot hides balls near console. Stupid design. And I want to give this a label of look and feel. I would say it's a bug. Can I give it two? It's a look and feel bug. That's what it is. All right. Now I'm going to end this stream. Next time when we come back, we are going to actually integrate Wwise, upgrade Wwise, and actually try to make this sound. Now that we know where it should happen, we're going to make the sound. And it's going to be fun. And I hope you guys learned something. See you very soon. I don't know when because I'm not good at the scheduling thing yet. But maybe, think about kids. After kids go to bed, 8:30.